I got you, man. Open your mic. We are live. Good afternoon, Alfredo.
Hi, everyone.
You just was making some selfies before
Yeah,
starting?
of course.
Promotion is
talking with
always very important.
I was talking with Alessandro. Alessandro probably is in the streaming.
Pro-
Hi.
So, salute, Alessandro. So, let's start from the beginning. First of all, let me ask the guys in the streaming that are in direct, Manas, Ryan, Josh, Joseph, and if they listen us correctly, the sound and everything. And thank you again for coming today in this our continuous training for the Google Summer of Code this year in the Liquid Galaxy community. And today, as we know, we have Alfredo Bautista, that is our one of new mentors for this year, and also he's Google developer expert in Flutter. Dart Flutter, what's the name exactly of the GDE?
Flutter and Dart.
Flutter and Dart. And yes, thank you, Joseph. Joseph says that audio is, Manas says audio is okay. Flutter and Dart. But is it the first is Flutter or first is Dart? Which is the one?
What good question. I think it's Flutter.
I mean, is
let me
GDE
check.
Flutter Dart or GDE Dart Flutter?
Let me check. Let me check.
Okay. So thank you, Alfredo, for taking your time from Amsterdam, because
Yeah.
we already know the people on this community that you are now living outside of Spain. So thank you for taking the time to make this session today. And as you have in your very nice slides, this session is one of the many we are doing included in this campaign Google is doing around the world, that Google developers, that is called Build with AI, because we are going to talk about Gemini, Gemma maybe, the models from Google, the non-open ones and the open ones, and also of course Flutter. I don't see your dash. What is your dash, Alfredo?
Oh, my dash is. I am asking for my
What is your dash?
What?
We have our little dash here, as usual.
Read it.
We will share this picture with Nilay. Say hi, Nilay, for you later.
Hey.
Very good.
Okay. With mine. Here.
Fantastic. So, Alfredo, Pablo is now on the channel too, and other persons will be connecting. More Josh, more Ryan from Canada. Okay. So, Alfredo, it's your point. I will leave the stage. I will leave it to you. Just you make your presentation, and remember to the guys in the live streaming that we will be answering your questions at the end of the presentation in the YouTube chat, not in the Discord channel, but in the YouTube chat, because this is faster for us to answer. So let me change camera, and I will leave the stage to you. 1 second. Up to you.
Okay, so welcome everyone. We're going to talk about Build with AI, as Andrew says, because everything is AI, so we have to talk about AI, and also we have to talk about how to integrate AI in our Flutter apps. So it's very easy to connect AI with Flutter, and also we are going to see the Gemini SDK and also other SDK that we can use for open source model, Gemma. So probably not many people know about Gemma, but let's see in the slides who is Gemma. Okay, so first of all, I want to introduce myself. My name is Alfredo Bautista. As Andreu says, I am Flutter and Dart GDE, so Google developer expert in Flutter and Dart. Currently, I'm working in Green Flags, that is a company here in Amsterdam, as a Flutter developer. So we are building our products in Flutter. And also in my free time, I am co-organizer of GDG Marbella and FlutterConf, now remotely, but sometimes I'm going to go to Spain to help my teammates to organize GDG Marbella and FlutterConf events. So stay tuned for next event in Malaga, because we have new events in Malaga. And also let's see about a new FlutterConf, online, hybrid, in person. So stay tuned. Okay, for today, I'm going to introduce Flutter. I think most of you know about Flutter, but we're going to do a very quick introduction of Flutter. Also, we're going to see about how to integrate Gemini in our Flutter apps, because as you know, You already see some events from Liquid Galaxy campaigns about the AI in Flutter. For example, Victor say about or Victor presented an introduction about Gemini in your Flutter app. So in this session, we're going to see more deeper the how to integrate in your app and some tricks and some configuration. So stay tuned. And also we're going to see Gemma and GSoC as platform to run our LL models, open source models. And at the finish, we're going to have a Q&A session. So feel free to ask everything that you have some question about this introduction, about this session. Okay, so Flutter, do you know Flutter? So a few emojis in the chat to see if people know about Flutter. Put in the comments in the chat. Okay, but Flutter is a UI framework built by Google. It's open source, but is made by Google to build mobile webs and desktop apps from the single code base. So you have to write only one code base and you can deploy your app in mobile, web, and desktop. It's very easy. So try Flutter if you didn't try yet. And Flutter has these four principles or four pillars about the framework itself, right? So it's beautiful because you can make the UI that you want. You can go pixel perfect. You can write every pixel that you want. It's fast because it will compile to native. It's open source because it's open source in GitHub. You can contribute to the project, and also it's productive because we have some tools to work with Flutter very easy. One of the most important things for me as Flutter developer is to have a very good framework to work with in the day-to-day. So I don't have to spend like 1 hour in every time that I want to run my app, or I have to spend 10 minutes in each iteration of the app that meanwhile I am reading code. So thanks to Hot Reload and Hot Restart, you can see your change in real time. So as the GIF in the presentation, you already see that the developers is writing code, is changing some UI stuff and also some logic stuff, as changing the text or also changing what the button will do. So you can change your logic and your UI without to compile again the app. So in real time, you can see your change. And also, as I said, it's open source. So if you want to read about the framework, if you want to contribute about the framework, if you found some issue, feel free to go to Flutter repository and you can see a very big active community working in the framework. Okay, so to write code in Flutter, you don't need to know about the native code. So you are going to write code in the first layer of this diagram. So your code only will talk with Flutter. So you only have to write code for the widget, gesture, your logic, your data implementation, or whatever. But you don't have to go deeper in these layers. Okay, you don't have to write native code. The framework itself will compile the code and will work with native code. Okay, these are like a simple diagram of the Flutter architecture. So our app is going to translate to native code. We are going to have in the UI layer some widgets and rendering objects to display the user UI. So we are going to have a motor. Yeah, I'll say like, yeah, a motor is a Skia or an impeller, depends on the platform that you are running your code. So we are going to have like a visual motor to render in the UI. And also we have the platform channel, that is the way that Flutter is going to communicate with native code. And also in the native side, we have Canvas and event to handle this kind of thing. And also in the services, we can access to the location, audio, camera, etc. Okay, so to write Flutter code, you have to learn about Dart. A lot of people ask me about why Dart, and I'm going to explain you why Dart. Okay, Dart is a objective oriented language. So it's like optimized for UI. When I'm going to go to explain some code, you are going to see the code to build the UI is very simple. Also, it's productive development because you are going to have this kind of tools, how to reload and how to restart in the Dart code itself, in the Dart virtual machine. And also, as I said, it's fast on all platforms. So every code that you are going to run in Dart, they are going to compile in native code in every platform that you are going to deploy your code. So if you don't want to install Dart to try Flutter or install Flutter and Dart, you can go to dartpad.dev because like recently, a few days ago, it was rewritten in Flutter, so it's like a Flutter app, and you can write some Flutter code, Dart code, and you can run in your browser without to install anything. Okay, so if you want to start with Flutter, try dartpad.dev because it's very easy to write some code. Also for me, if I want to share some code or I have to test anything very quickly, I usually go to dartpad.dev. And also a lot of people ask me about, okay, Flutter is very good, but there are people using Flutter to build apps, and the Flutter team create a land page, a web page, or a page called Flutter dev/showcase, where you can see a lot of apps built with Flutter, like the Philips Hue apps, BMW apps, also some Google apps like Wallet or Nest Hub or Hub apps. So you can see a lot of examples of Flutter apps. And after this very quick introduction to Flutter, we are going to talk about Gemini SDK. Before to start, there are any people that already had worked with Gemini? Put in the chat. Okay, the first of all, warning, depends of in which part of the world you are. You can use Gemini API or Gemini SDK or not. So you have to go to this QR code so you can scan it, and you will see the available region where you can use Gemini API. Okay, it's different that the language support than the region support. So probably if you are in some country that is available, you can use the Gemini API in English, but you can do it in your country. But for example, for me that I am in Europe, in this case in Netherlands, they don't allow us to use in Europe. In Europe, it's not available yet the Gemini API. So this is very important. If you are going to use this Gemini SDK, first of all, check if you can use in your region. Okay, if you can use in your region, you have to go to marketsuite.google.com. Nowadays is Google AI, Google AI Studio. I'm going to check. It's Google AI Studio.google.com because they changed the name from Maker Suite to Google AI Studio, and sometimes they didn't redirect to Google AI Studio. It's Google AI.google.com. And you can see that sometimes it's Maker Suite in the URL. Never mind. So you have to go to Google AI Studio, and you are going to go in the left to get API key. And with this API key, we're going to work with our Gemini SDK. So it's very important. You're going to go to AI Studio, get the API key, create the API key, and store securely. Please don't upload your repository. Be careful with your API. Okay. So I'm going to say something, or I'm going to do some tips to use this APK without to upload to the repository. Okay, so after we are going to get the key, we are going to install the official package of Google to use the API of Gemini. It's called Google Generative AI. Okay, how to install? Very easy. You can run this command, flutter pub add Google Generative AI in your command line, and you will install this package directly. Or you can go to pubspec.yaml and put Google Generative AI with the current version. After you install it, the package, you can use it, the package. Okay, so first of all, we are going to initialize our client. I already created services to wrap this code, but you can do whatever you want. So we're going to instance two models. generative model for normal mode and for vision. This is very important. We are going to see in the next slide. Okay, to store securely our API key, in my case, I use .env package, so you can get your .environment file in your repository, and you can fetch from your Flutter app, and you don't have to upload to your repository, GitHub repository or repository in whatever place. So with this technique that is very easy to use, you can store your APK securely without to put in the repository or without to put directly hard code in the code. Okay, you can go to .dev.f environment package and you can read how to use, but it's very easy. So we initialize our client, so we can use our client. So to generate text, like if you use ChatGPT or Gemini in the web page or in the web app, you write some text and you will get a response. So to get this kind of functionality in our Flutter apps is as easy as generate a content app, call to the model with the method generate content with this prompt, and you will get the text of the model. It's very, very easy to use. So we have the logic of to fetch the data from the model, and now we are going to display in the UI. To display in the UI, the most easy way to display this asynchronous content is to use Feature Builder. If you don't know about Feature Builder, from the Flutter team, there are like a series of video about some widgets. So you can go to Flutter channel in YouTube and you will search Feature Builder, and you are going to see the videos about the Feature Builder. It's very easy to use. I'm going to show you. So the Feature Builder will receive a feature that is this asynchronous response, and also we have the callback call builder. We have the context and the snapshot. The snapshot is the model or is the object that contains the status of the feature, the status of the asynchronous value, and the value itself. So in this case, I put animate switcher only to have a fancy animation between states, and with this switch snapshot connection state, I can check if the future is building, is meanwhile in the fetching to go to the servers and come back, or is ready to use. Okay, so if we are waiting for the status of this asynchronous value, we are going to show this circular progress indicator, and if we have the value with error or with no error but it's ready to see, we are going to build response widget. How it looks, build response widget method is very easy. If this value has an error, we are going to return something went wrong. You can, in this line, you can show whatever you want. You can show a fancy error widget with, hey, we have a problem, and with some icon, but it's very easy to know what is the status of the async value. Also, if we don't have nothing, we are going to show, hey, we don't have value yet, so the response will be shown here. And if we don't have error, or if our data is different than null, we can show the response of the model. In this case, I use Animate Text Kit that you can search in path.dev. It's a very easy package to use that they're going to animate the text, and we are going to pass this snapshot data. Very easy. So recap of the methods. We got our services with the model. We are going to call generate content from the model, passing the content. In this case, it's a text prompt, and we are going to retrieve this response.text. This is the method of the property that we are going to fetch to get the response of the model. And in the UI, we are going to check the status of the connection, and after the status of the connection, the content of the response, and if the response is okay, we're going to show how it looks like. like this. We have like an input box, and if you write some code, if you ask something to the model, you will get the response for the model. In this case, I asked it like Flutter rocks, right? So the model responds. The content that you are going to, that the content you already see in the page is from the Gemini. It's the same model that you can use by the web app. But in this case, we're going to use in our apps. So it's very easy to connect the Gemini API or the Gemini SDK with our Flutter app. So let's go deeper how to use the AI, because if you want to use the AI only to get like some text or whatever, you can take this step, this step, and you're ready to go. You did it. You already integrated AI in your Flutter app. But if you want to get more advanced content, let's see this thing. Okay, so a part of generate text, we can to configure how the model will generate the text. In this case, we have a parameter called generation config that you can paste to the model when you are going to create content. Okay, in this case, as you can see, we have the same content.text, and we are going to call the same method. In this case, generate content. But we are going to pass this generation config object. This generation config has candidate account, the number of response that the model will send us, the maximum length of the response. Imagine that you want to, I don't know how to explain, you want to be sure that the user will not use a lot of credit or will not use a lot of the tokens from the model. You can limit how many tokens the AI will respond. So in this case, we don't want to more token than the 2048 token. In this case, token is not the same as words, but more or less. And also the temperature. Temperature is a parameter that you can send to the model when you generate a few response. Is to say more or less, I am not AI engineer, but it's more or less to say that the difference between one response and other, more temperature means more difference. So you have to be more creative in the way that you are going to respond the prompts of the user. So if the temperature is 0, it's like the model is gonna try to say the same in the 3 response. And if you put like temperature to 1, the model will try to use different response at the same prompt. Okay, but in this case, it's not ready yet. There are a bug. I already filled the bug in the GitHub project of this package, because currently in the time we are going to we are doing this session, 20 of March, is not available yet. So the model will only respond one time. So if you want more response, you have to ask again to the model. Okay, so keep in mind that this is gonna to be available in some time, but not yet. Okay, this is the error that you will have if you generate more than one candidate. You will get this server exception with only one candidate can be specified. Okay, so we have the model. So we can ask with prompts and we can generate text. So it's like text to text. But with the new Gemini version, we can use multimodal prompts to generate text. So what this means? Means that a part of the text that from the user you can use as prompt, you can use files, you can use video, you can use pictures, and you can still use some text to give to the model the prompt to generate the content or to do some task. In my case, I'm going to show you a proof of concept about the one app that describes the one image that you can pass. Okay, so how it works in Flutter? Very easy. Did you see that we have content? So in this case, we have in the previous case, we have content.text. It's called content.text because it's text. In this case, we are going to use data part because we are going to send one prompt with text and data. In this case, data is an image. So the first line is going to get the main type because we are going to say at the model which kind of data we are going to send. And also we have the text part. So the text part is like a normal prompt from user, or in this case from the app, like you can write. And also the image content is the image that we are going to get from the app and we are going to send to the model. Okay, so we have this prompt from I wrote in the code, describe this image, and also every time that the user are going to call this method, we're going to pass the image, and the model will receive the prompt of the text and also the UI. It's the same. So we're going to use generate content, but instead of using the normal model, we're going to use the vision model. Okay, we're going to pass this prompt that contains the image and the text, and we're going to get a response. Same as previously, but the difference is between in the previous case, we only used text, and in this case, we are going to use text plus one image. Okay, who is the result of this? So I record some video about if we pass the image that you are currently seeing to Gemini. Okay, so it's the same UI you send to Gemini, and when Gemini get the prompt and also the image, the model will describe the image. In the first case is Andreu with the Leaky Galaxy monitor. So the model say that a man is standing in a curved room with a large curve and a screen on the wall. Probably Gemini didn't know about the Leaky Galaxy project, so we're going to tune the model for the next time.
Really, Alfredo, this happened?
Yeah, we need to train the model.
Okay.
And after this, I used other picture of my born city, my original city, Malaga. You should visit if you didn't. And I sent this image to the model. So the model is going to describe the picture. So in the first time, they see that it's a sandy beach with blue water, with people in the beach. But in the another try, it says a Malagueta. So in one time, they didn't describe if the model didn't describe the Malagueta, and the other one, they know about where is the Malagueta, in this case in Malaga, in Spain. Okay, so the model depends on your configuration, the response will be different. Okay, but you see how easy it is to integrate the model with image. So you can create like an app that describes the image for user with, I don't know, 15 line of code, 20 line of code. It's very easy to use the model. And the support of the model with vision, and also the in next time we're going to, the model has support for videos. You can create very, very good things. So keep in mind. Okay. So after this, I'm going to, okay. So after this, you already seen how easy it is to integrate our the AI model in our app. So I'm going to show you some tips that I faced it when I built some product with AI in Flutter. So the first thing is try to tune the prompt as much as you can. Go to Google AI Studio, start to write some prompts, and let's see if the model is going to respond you with the correct information that you want. So if you include a very good pre-prompt before the user start to use it, it's a very good thing to work with AI. If you define a very good pre-prompt with the clear instruction and the must and must not to the AI model, is very good to have a very strong model. Also, It's very useful. You can say to the model in which format do you want the response of the model, because it's not the same that the model is going to respond in plain text, is going to respond in Markdown, is going to respond in JSON, because the model can respond in JSON or in Markdown or in XML. So if you put in the pre-prompt that the format that you want to have the response, is very useful for the coder to parse the response. If you are going to use this format, if you give the model some instruction or some language specification, for example, if you are going to use XML, you are going to specify if you are going to use this version or this version, or if you want to use this kind of libraries or whatever. So if you in the pre-prompt or in the prompt, you get the format and also the specification, it will help to the model. And also, as I said, go to Google AI Studio before to build your app and start prompting the model and let's see the response, okay? I try in the Google AI Studio because it's not available yet, the Gemini 1.5 Pro version. So you have this, this is the Google AI Studio. So I give a pre-prompt. You are very good location searcher. I will an image, and you have to create the KLM file. So probably Andrew know about this format of the file. So with this format of the file, you can send command to the Earth Studio. So you can use this format to select place in Google Earth. So in this case, we are going to pass an image to the model. We are going to say that, hey, I want the response in this format, and the model is going to, I will say, like, imagine the place of the picture, and they are going to send you the location of the picture. In this case, I put the Coliseum Stadio in Roma, and the model can say is Coliseum and the coordinates. So imagine you create an app that take a picture of the user and send to the Liquid Galaxy the location of the picture. Take in mind this project. Okay, so after you know how to work with AI, we can improve the UX, the user experience in your app. What is the big or the main problem when the users are going to use AI in your apps? Do you know? I will give you 5 seconds to think about what is the biggest problem when a user is going to have or is going to use your app. Andreu, have some idea?
I'm taking care of the streaming. Don't ask me questions. We have the people on the streaming. Let's see if anyone answers. Remember that they have to wait for the streaming go to whatever place.
Yeah. So this time we go to think about the biggest problem for the user using AI in our apps. So let's think. Probably we are not going to wait for the response because the YouTube delay. But I'm going to show you what is the biggest problem: the response time, the time that the model is going to take from the request from the device to go to the server, process in the server, and come back to the app. So probably if you try some services like Gemini or ChatGPT, if you use it, they're like a flag. I don't know where it is. It's like in the left panel or something like this. It's called what is the name? It's like on real-time response or something like this. So as you see, when the model processes the request, the first time that receives the request is going to write the first line of the response, and after this, the model is going to complete the response. So we can get this in our Flutter apps. How to do it? With a Stream Builder. A Stream Builder is a widget that you can use in your Flutter app to consume some streams, because we are going to get the stream from the model. Okay? So instead of getting the content, generate content directly, we are going to use generate content stream. What does it mean? It means that instead of waiting the response of the model, we are going to get an stream that it will contain the response of the model. Okay, so probably if you are not familiar with reactive programming, I'm going to show you this one first. So in streaming, we have like a line of events. So every time that an event occur or happen in some part, is going to translate to other parts. So in the time that the model is going to respond, every time that the model is going to respond, it's like an event. So we have our model, we have the UI. So every time that the model will respond us with a new value, the UI will be rebuilt. Okay. So to get this, we have the stream builder. So the stream builder is very close to Fitty builder. It's the same. I mean, instead of get a future, we have an stream, and the snapshot is more or less the same. Okay, we have the same connection state, and if the connection state is waiting, is already connecting. We are going to show this circular progress indicator, and in the other hand, we are going to show the single response widget. Okay, what does mean every event? Means that the model will not wait for the full response. The model, when the model has the first part of the text of the response, it will send us to our app. So in every time that the model has ready, like is random, 2 or 3 lines of text, the model is going to send us in the stream. So our UI is going to rebuild every time that the model have new text. Okay. So in this case, if you see in the UI, it's like you get the quickest first iteration, first response, and after that, the model is going to send us some events to complete the response. Okay, so what we need to accumulate the response and add some nice transition between the iteration. Okay, so for this, we have a transformer in the library RX Dart. That's a library to build reactive apps. So it's a scan stream transformer. This transformer only get the previous value and will concatenate the new one. Okay, so in this case, I use it to concatenate the streams, and in our case, we have this behavior. Okay, so we have a very quick first iteration, and in every time that you see in the GIF, you will get more information. Okay, so imagine that the user is going to ask a very large question. You don't have to wait like, I don't know, 5 seconds, 10 seconds to get the response. So you can show every time that the model is going to respond. So the user, when the user is going to use the app, the user is going to read every time that the model is going to respond. And more or less it's the same time that the user is going to read. Okay, so it's a very important tip. So as I said, first, very quick first output, less loading time because you get the first output quicker. And also, if you concatenate this with a nice UI animation, you will get a very good user experience in your app. Recap of this introduction, you can go to ai.googledev/tutorials/Dart quick starts, and you can follow everything that I explaining in this workshop is already in the doc, so you can try and you can get some code. It's not the same code as I presented, but more or less you can get a look. Okay, if you want to refresh. So the other thing is about to talk about Gemma. I don't know if I am out of time. It's okay the time, Andrew? More or less, okay.
I am here.
We'll take it out.
I am
Okay.
here. But remember, I have to push many buttons to talk with you.
Yeah.
You are very good. I mean, you are.
Okay.
You have time. Go.
Okay, perfect. So we're going to talk about Gemma. I don't know how in Spanish it will say Gemma. In English, probably it's Gemma. So how many of you do you know about Gemma? So put an emoji in the YouTube. Okay, in this case, the first thing is to talk about Gemma. So Gemma, I asked Gemini about who is Gemma. So Gemini said that Gemma is a large language model from Google AI that it say represent the more advanced internal research efforts. I don't know. So Gemma is a LL model, large language model developed by Google AI, and you can use because it's open source. So you can use Gemini, but you can use by yourself this model. Okay, what does it mean? Means that this image is generated by AI. So means that you have the model, so you can run everywhere that you want. If you have a enough powerful machine, you can run locally. But if you don't have this machine, you can go to some I say like parties or some services like Grok. Who is Grok? Who is Grok? Grok is not a LLM. Who? Grok is a company that is very innovative in the LPU. It's the hardware of next generation, as they said, to run LLM faster than the actual platform. For example, the NVIDIA ones or the Tensor TPU or something like this from Google. And they have a services called Grok Cloud, where you can run your LLM for free. They have like a tier, so you can try Gemma in this platform. Okay, so it's more easier to use than the Google AI Studio because it's available, I think, worldwide. So probably you can access from wherever you are. So go to Grok Cloud, you can scan this QR code and go to API keys and generate a new API key, as same as Google AI Studio. So you are going to create this API key and you can use in your apps. Okay, to use in this case in our Flutter apps, we have a package to use Grok. So this the package, as you already see, is very new. So if you want to contribute, it's very new. I contributed in the, I think 3 days ago, something like this, because they didn't support yet Gemma. So I need to be able to support Gemma for this talk. So I create like a very quick pull request to enable Gemma, and you can use in your Flutter app. So as same as the Google Generative AI package, you can run this command flutter pub at Grok, and you can use Grok in your Flutter code. This is the model that at 20 of March we have already available in the Grok Cloud. So you can use Llama, Mistral, or Gemma. In this case, Llama is from Meta, Mistral is from Mistral company, that's a French company, I think, and Gemma, in our case, is from Google. So this platform is going to run the Gemma model, and we can consume the API to use this model in our app. It's different that the Gemini model is closed source model from Google that is running in Google servers and in Google services. And in the other hand, we have Gemma is open source. We are going to use Grok to run Gemma and to use in our apps. So this is very important to understand. Okay, if you have some question, we will have some Q&A. Okay, as same as Gemini, we are going to create a services called Gemma and Llama, because we can use Gemma or Gemma and Llama. And we are going to select the model in the constructor, and we are going to pass the APK, as same as Google. More or less is the same. Okay, so we're going to create the same method, generate content, but in this case, the SDK is different than Google AI. So in this case, we are going to call send message. We don't have like the prompt of the multimodal. We don't have the same method as the Google one. We don't have streams. If you want a stream, you have to build yourself. So in this case, is very easy to use, same as the Google one, but they have less functionality. Okay, so if you want more functionality, contribute to the project. So in this case, we're going to call the model dot send message with the prompt. In this case, the prompt is not like a content, it's like a plain string. And we're going to get in the response the choices, because we can get different outputs or candidates as same as Gemini. In this case, we're going to get the first one, the message, and the content. Okay, so it's like this chain of methods and property to get the content of the model. And in our case, we have to control the exception and in our methods because the package itself didn't control the exception for you. Okay, but as you see in like 10 lines of code, you can use Grok with Gemma to your Flutter apps. Okay, and the main important thing to use Grok in this case, and probably is the main reason why I use Grok, is because it's very quick, very, very quick. As you saw in the previous example of Gemini, it takes some time to process the query, the prompt, and get a response. If you try with Grok, you will see it's very, very, very quick. It's quicker than everyone. There's like a chart here. You can see like the tokens per second. More or less, it's like words per second, more or less. And you can see that Grok, in this case, is the most powerful one. Is the quicker one. Okay, if you want to use Gemma in your app and you are looking for a provider to use this model, Grok is a very good option. I didn't be I wasn't be promoted to use Grok. It's not sponsored, so choose whatever you want. But in my case, Grok is very, very good. It's very quick. So I think I ended more or less in the time. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much to spend your time seeing this session. If you have some question about AI, Google AI, Flutter apps, Google AI in Flutter apps, AI, open source AI in Flutter apps, feel free to post a question. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, Alfredo. So thank you for your presentation. Oh, nice picture. I know. This was in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Almost 1 year ago.
Yeah.
We were there sharing nice moments.
The IO. The IO Connect.
Google
Let's
IO
see the
Connect. So in the meantime, where we try, we wait for the contributors to make some questions on YouTube. Let me say a few questions.
Yeah.
And you make it clear, but I want to repeat. Okay. So this year for the Liquid Galaxy projects on the Google Summer of Code, we are asking the contributors to use Google models. Those can be the two models that you introduced. Gemini, that is I would say a closed source model that has to run on the Google Cloud Services using the IPA, as you say, or the whatever Google Cloud Console IPA.
Yeah.
It depends on the country. And then you have Gemma. Gemma is the open source model. It's not Gemini. Gemma is lots smaller. Obviously, it's less powerful, but it's open source. Google noted that he has to be also on the thing opening some of the AI. So this year it is unique because usually we don't want contributors to use cloud services because we have to pay for them and we don't have budget for this kind of projects because those are not commercial projects. So some of them will use Gemini using the whatever payment. It depends because as far as I remember, in the countries that Gemini is available as API, is free.
It's free until May.
For now, it's free. But we will start at the end of May. I think it's 26 or 28. So this will be free for 2 days only. So, but we will make a few requests. This will be very cheaper. But again, the thing is that Gemma is the open source version, Gemma model. And we can run it on the Liquid Galaxy community. We've been doing many trainings in the last days before yours. We started last year to have a special artificial intelligence server in our Liquid Galaxy rig. I mean, in our machines, we have another machines only dedicated to the artificial intelligence. This is what we call the Liquid Galaxy AI server. With the help of Mario Ezquerro or Google Cloud Mentor, we built this last year. And then contributors build their applications in Docker images, and then we run those Docker images in the server. Why? In our local server, it's edge because it's on our own system, on our own LAN. So the inference will be more or less fast. It depends on the kind of machine we have for this. We have a machine, I will say, medium powerful. But if you run it on external services, like if you run against Gemini or you run against Gemma running in whatever place, will have different speeds. But also, as you noted, you commented about the GSoC system. GSoC is another company that offers that service, that they have invented that thing of the LPU. So this is a CPU specialized on words. So it's faster for this kind of applications, not for training, but for inferencing. Yeah. And what they do is they have open models, the three you show at this moment. They will incorporate more for sure in the next times, in the coming months. And then the point is that they run an instance of Gemma in their services, and this is absolutely fast. You haven't run any demo on GSoC, but you only show the numbers, but it's 20 times faster. So yeah, it will be faster than claiming Gemma in our internal server, claiming it from the outside API that in our internal server.
Yeah, okay? Yeah, it's very quick.
Very, very amazingly quick. So so we are offering the contributors. Let me show. I have one screen on the left. So you are not gonna see it, but you can see it on the streaming. I'm just showing the page where we have at the Liquid Galaxy community the different proposals, project ideas for the contributors this year. And the very first categorization is the AI projects, and we have six different projects for AI, and more can be invented or proposed. And some of them will use Gemini, running on whatever API, Google Cloud, whatever console. Some of them will use Gemma, and some of them will use Gemma running on GSoC as an API external, or running Gemma locally on artificial intelligence server. So we will do the three use cases. Okay. Hopefully, because at this time we don't know what contributors are going to be on GSoC, because this is still we are presenting proposals, and it's still something like 1 month to know about what people will be selected. No, 1 month, but it will be in May. So Gemma, Gemini, accessed by API or by Google Cloud Console, Gemma running in whatever services, or in GSoC, for example, very fast, and then running also Gemma in our artificial intelligence server in a Docker application. Those are the different possibilities. And you ask about our contributors about they to say something. They are a little bit shy. We will review the questions now, but we have already many, I would say a couple of dozens proposals fully developed with these technologies in use. So what else? Also, I want to name that. Thank you again, Alfredo, not for today's time, but also for being mentored this year. This year is going to be very nice because we're going to use, of course, Flutter and as the key for the development of the application, but the UX and the database and everything. And then we will use these external technologies, as I was saying, for artificial intelligence on the cloud. Of course, we will have many other projects, but lots of them, I think, are going to be in this line. So let's go and review what are the questions. Let me try to change the screen. I have one screen that is next to the, I need a second. I need to change this. Hold on a second. Could you please, do you have access to the YouTube questions?
Oh, let me check. Yeah, because I didn't open to avoid the echo.
Open it in your phone. Can you open on your phone?
Yeah.
Because I have to configure a screen, and I made this in real time.
Yeah, I already have it.
So if you want to read the first one.
Okay, just working with Gemini. A lot of people say okay. So I have a few questions. What is the difference between pre-prompt and fine-tuner model? Very good question. So more about the AI. Okay, I am not AI engineer, but I can say as my experience. Okay, pre-prompt is like you are going to configure the model on the fly. That means the model itself is the same of the other person are going to use is the same model. So more or less you can configure like with this pre-prompt instruction the behavior of the model. But if you fine-tune in the model, mean that the model is going to train a little bit with your information. So the result of the model you have to deploy in some places because you, for example, you can't yet you can't fine tune in the Gemini, for example. So the difference is the pre-prompt is like you're going to configure on fly the model. You don't have to train again. You are going to configure the model. You have to say some instruction on the fly to the model to get the response. And with the fine tuning, you are going to train the model again with some bad data. So probably the model will respond better to the some task that you train it for. So I don't know if I explained very well, but the difference is pre-prompt is the easy way because you only give some instruction before to the user. So it's the quicker way and it's like the more cheap way to more or less configure the model for yourself. In the other hand, we have the fine tuning that this means you are going to train a little bit the model again. So you will get a new version of the model that you have to deploy in some place. And this more training model is trained from your data. So probably is going to respond better for your specific task. Okay? So I don't know if more or less, if you get it, send some emojis. Okay? If you have some more question, tell me. So after that, I'm going to ask other one. Is it better if you use fine tuning or knowledge based embedding for I propose on Liquid Galaxy application? Okay, very good question. In this, probably, as I said, the model didn't know about the Liquid Galaxy. So if you are going to use for Liquid Galaxy, you have to give very good instruction about what is the goal of your task and try in the Google AI Studio, for example, to give some prompts and let's see if the output of the task is well enough to don't have to train the model with the fine tuning model. You don't have to train again. So I don't know. For example, in my case, if I use Gemini 1.5, the KLM response is good. But if I use Gemini 1.0, the KLM response is not well generated. So you can use. So depends of the task you are going to use. So for me, it's very important that before to start building apps or the use case of the app, try to prompt the AI model and let's see what is the response. And don't try one time, try like 10 times and let's see if the consistency of the response is okay to build a product with this. Okay, so I don't know if I explaining well. Yes, so can say that thanks understood. So perfect. Okay, so we don't have more questions. If you have more questions, or if you want to contact with me, there is my.
Let's wait a bit because let's wait a bit because it's difficult. I was trying to make it. I have a screen with the chat and it was bad and now it works. So let me ask from my point of view of administrator with my colleague Claudia on the admin for the Google Summer of Code. The question from Manas Dalby. I would say that for the Google Summer of Code for us, our goal is not to do fine tuning. I already have answered this question on the Discord chat. Our goal is not to work. We are not a community that the focus is the AI. For us, AI is another way of getting information to be shown on maps on the Google Earth or the Google Maps on the Flutter application. So we as mentors, we do not want you to spend time in GSoC doing fine tuning. No, this is not the goal of your task. No. You will take the model as is. I mean, Gemma, whatever number of parameters, it's 2 billion, I think, 2 billion parameters.
7 billion, I think.
7 billion parameters.
Let me check.
7 billion parameters. You took the
7 billion.
7 billion. Sorry, you take the 7 billion parameters model and then you use it. What are the questions we are gonna make to the Gemma? It's up to you as contributors and your different proposals. But for example, let's make a guess. So you are in Paris and you want to know what's the best French restaurant I can go in Paris. This question, 100% Gemma will know the answer. So the kind of questions we are going to ask to these models are not requiring to fine tuning, and you don't have time in GSoC for do fine tuning. You just take the models as they are. So because this is not our goal. Your goal has to be to make precious interfaces with Flutter, with the help of Alfredo, with our colleague Victor and our mentors. Precious interface, very good, well done, and also showing in the best way information on the Google Earth Liquid Galaxy screens. This is the goal of all the contributors. So Manas and all the other colleagues in the contributors in the chat today or later when they see us in YouTube, this is not our goal. So we will not allow you to make fine tuning during the GSoC. You will use the model as they are. So we are experimenting. Models will continuously be evolving. So Gemma today is one version. A few days ago, Gemini was 1. Now is 1.5. Maybe when we start again, will be 2.0, or no one's know. For sure, Google will introduce some news in May, because there will be the Google I/O, the conference, and they will make another announcement. It will be great, and then maybe. We have plenty of other models supported in Grok Cloud. A parenthesis there. It's not a must for you to use Grok Cloud. This is something we ask you because we know that they have the very fast inference in the market at this moment. And using Gemma model, because the thing is that we have to use Google models. We don't want projects using other kind of models. But one question is that if you're doing an artificial intelligence proposal and you're using Grok, it's as simple as you put our question on the next to the main window, saying what model do you want to use. Gemma will be the default. If whatever thing you do against the model, it will be querying Gemma. But you just can go and say, I want to use Mistral. It's in the same place, so you can use it. But our goal, of course, as in Google, a Google community, our main goal will be using Gemini, accessing by the API if available, or by the Google Cloud console, or Gemma in whatever place is host on our local server with Docker, or in Grok Cloud, or any other place you can offer us, and this is our goal. So I hope, Manas, that this answers your question, and for all the other contributors that are saying us today or later, because this is very important. What is the difference between pre-pon and fine-tuning models? I have to say, Alfredo, I'm not 100% sure what GSoC means, because pre-prompt and fine-tuning model. I'm not sure if this has sense, this question. Could you please extend a little bit, GSoC, what do you mean?
Yeah, I think I responded. I explained it.
I listened to you, but I'm trying to adjust the answer to the Liquid Galaxy community.
Okay.
Today we are doing a presentation specifically for the Liquid Galaxy application, so I'm trying to understand. Okay. So, for example, what GSoC, please answer in the Google chat. What is this pre-prompt you are saying? Because fine-tuning, we already said what is fine-tuning, and we are not going to do fine-tuning. Point 0. Point 1. Pre-prompt, I'm not sure what you mean, but for us, we are asking to all people that are presenting proposals with artificial intelligence is that they have some previously edited prompts in their systems. Not to leave the user just in front of an empty box and say, what I have to write here. No, you can allow the user this, but also you have to have, for example, a pre-made questions, like I say, what is the best restaurant in Paris? So But I'm not sure if he wants to talk about this kind of pre-prod. I'm not sure what is he meaning. Manas work with Gemini. Shaunak also use Gemini with Oyama. And there are no more questions. So people is shy, or they know a lot, or that's fantastic. So one question, Alfredo. What do you think that the actual status as today of the Flutter package for Gemini is enough for the kind of programs we have to do, the project we have to do?
I think so. Yeah, support is great. It's great. And also the tools that with the stream and also multimodal prompting is good.
Good. We don't have any project still that runs the multimodal question, but it's a very nice thing. I mean, we ask contributors to bring us their ideas, and it was clear. You and me were talking about 1 month ago when talking about to make this streaming like an idea. Imagine you are in Paris with the Liquid Galaxy, and then instead of asking the chat box, what is the best restaurant in French, you send a croissant. You blow up a croissant picture, and then the system has to know what is the best croissant in Paris. This is the multimodal use case that we can do in our system, and there are many other ones. And also, you haven't demo about voice, but we can also use voice with Gemini because multimodal.
I think so, but voice is like they didn't support too much yet.
You mean the Flutter and the Flutter.
In the Flutter and also in the model, because, for example, because it depends of the tokens. So probably if you want to use with voice, you need to use first services that transform the voice of the user to text and send to the model. Yeah. But the model itself, I didn't see the support of audio. Okay. Probably in the version of the Gemini 1.5, they have support of video, but not support of audio.
Video, no, I'm talking about audio. Because one application we have in the Liquid Galaxy is that the Liquid Galaxy, we talk to the Liquid Galaxy, and then Liquid Galaxy talks to us. And this year, we will have, I'm 100% sure, with one or the other of the proposals, we will have some almost real-time interaction with the Liquid Galaxy by voice. We've done this in the past using Google Assistant and using other open source libraries. Even I remember 1 year we did that with Arduinos that were, I would say, slow, but worked perfectly. But this year we are going to have real-time conversations with the Liquid Galaxy. This is going to be amazing. This is going to be a showcase demo for us in September after we and the Google Summer of Code. There are a couple of students working on this. I don't see today Mentor Vedan in the chat, but Mentor Vedan last year, that was a contributor, he developed a program that use artificial intelligence voices. We use another, almost all of them are named the same. What was the name? We use a model that ran locally in artificial intelligence servers that was very similar to those names. And then we use this model with a very good voice and internally, and then we send whatever strings to the model in real time, and the model returns us the voice, spoken voice, in both directions. They recognize our voice, and also they talk to us back with the artificial intelligence voice generated. So this was last year with other models, and this year with this impressive quantity of new models with new abilities, with multimodal abilities, I think we are going to have very, very nice applications. So I see no more questions. Manas, Pablo, Shaunak, Joseph, Ryan, Josh. Any question you want to make to Alfredo? Because if not, we are going to close this streaming in seconds. We will wait a few more seconds. Also, in the meantime, we'll announce again that, as all the contributors know, we are starting now the interviews with the different contributors. There are already 20 interviews running, and for the ones that are uploading their proposals a little bit after this, or in a few days, you will have the opportunity to have an interview with a mentor, and it will be your turn, Alfredo. You already reached some of the guys. I think you have an interview. No?
Not yet.
Not yet, but you have one interview to do. No?
No, I don't think so. I don't know.
Yeah. Let me check it this live. I'm not gonna say it publicly, but I see. You
To,
have one interview pending to.
on what to do.
Yeah, you have your to do.
I didn't have time yet.
Yeah. I know.
I was building. I
This
was
is
building.
not. This is just for. This is not for today. You have
Yeah.
something like 10 days to do this, so you have plenty of time. But you have one. We can say the names. You have one contributor. Wait, the contributor also does not know that you're gonna be the person making the interview because they don't know till they'll receive the email from the mentor. So you already have one, and as I say, we have 20 interviews already going, and more are coming soon. So let's gonna check again. No more questions. So thank you very much, Alfredo, for your time, and let's go.
Thank you so much.
We are gonna see us soon after in mid-April. You're gonna come to Lleida. We are gonna go to Barcelona. You're gonna go to Malaga. You're gonna go to Marbella.
Córdoba.
You're gonna make a road trip built with AI and Alfredo road trip in Spain.
Build with AI too.
So we will when you're staying in Lleida, we will make some short thing for the Liquid Galaxy 2 community in English, just to use your time. Nothing else. So thank you very much and see you. Thank you.
Bye.
Perfect.